What happens when you remove every struggle, every hunger, every danger, every trace of scarcity? Do living beings thrive, or do they quietly collapse? In the 1970s, a researcher created what he believed would be a perfect world for rats. Endless food, endless water, endless comfort, and complete safety. It should have been paradise. Instead, it became psychological ruin. This experiment, known as Universe 25, was never just about rats. It was a mirror, a prophecy, a warning. A story about us, our society, our families, and the fragile architecture of mental health. And the message it carries is more relevant today than ever before. Welcome back, beautiful souls, seekers of healing, truth, and transformation. And today we're exploring Universe 25, one of the most haunting social experiments ever conducted. A utopia built with good intentions that collapsed under its own design. Let's break down what happened and what it teaches us about stress, community, attachment, parenting, and the soul. What happens when you remove every struggle, every hunger, every danger, every trace of scarcity? Do living beings thrive, or do they quietly collapse? In the 1970s, a researcher created what he believed would be a perfect world for rats. Endless food, endless water, endless comfort, and complete safety. It should have been paradise. Instead, it became psychological ruin. This experiment, known as Universe 25, was about our society, our families, and the fragile architecture of mental health. And the message it carries is more relevant today than ever. In the early 1970s, behavioral researcher John B. Calhoun created a controlled world for rats, a perfect environment. Unlimited food, unlimited water, ideal temperature, no predators, no disease, plenty of nesting space. A literal rat paradise. He introduced just 8 healthy rats. They reproduced rapidly, and at first everything looked flawless. But the utopia didn't hold. As the population grew, Calhoun noticed something unsettling. The more socially crowded the environment became, the more the society began to fracture. Not because of hunger or danger, but because the social fabric collapsed from the inside out. The 4 phases of collapse. Phase 1, the strive phase, healthy growth. In the beginning, everything looked ideal. The population doubled roughly every 55 days. Mothers cared for their pups with attentiveness. Males maintained order and protected their territory. Social structure was strong, stable, predictable. This was society at its best, a community functioning the way it was designed to. Phase 2, the exploit phase. All crowding begins. As the population increased, the shift was subtle at first. Rats struggled to claim territory. Social roles began to overlap. Stress rose across the colony. Younger rats couldn't find stable adults to model or learn from. Aggression spiked. But the most alarming change emerged in the nurseries. Parenting began to break down. Some mothers abandoned their pups. Others became overwhelmed and aggressive, a sign that the social pressure was already reshaping the entire colony. Phase 3, the degenerate phase, the behavioral sink. Then came the collapse. Calhoun documented behaviors that had never appeared in the early days. Violent outbursts, random attacks, obsessive overgrooming, hypervigilance. Clusters of anxious, withdrawn rats huddled together. Some mothers even turned on their young. Males stopped mating, stopped protecting, stopped engaging at all. And then a new group emerged, the ones Calhoun called the beautiful ones. They groomed endlessly. They avoided all stress, conflict, and responsibility. They refused to mate, refused to fight, refused to socialize. They looked perfect on the outside, but inside they had completely given up on life. Phase 4, the death phase, complete collapse, 50 sec. By the final phase, the damage was irreversible. Even after the population stopped growing, even when conditions were stabilized, the rats could not recover. No mating, no nurturing behaviors, no learning, no drive, curiosity, or purpose. The social instinct, the core of survival, was gone. One by one, the colony declined until the population hit 0. The utopia that was meant to save them had silently destroyed them from the inside out. The psychology behind the breakdown. Universe 25 revealed a fundamental truth about mammals, including us. 1. Social stability matters more than resources. When structure collapses, identity collapses. And when identity collapses, behavior unravels. 2. Role loss creates an existential crisis. The rats who couldn't find a place, Mate, protector, nurturer, leader, lost the behaviors that came with those roles. Humans are no different. We need meaning. We need belonging. We need a role within the tribe to stay grounded and emotionally alive. 3. Crowding disrupts attachment. When social pressure rises, nurturing collapses. Stressed parents stop attuning to their young. Stressed youth lose the chance to learn through modeling. Stressed communities lose rituals, boundaries, and connection, the glue that holds a society together. 4. A safe environment is not the same as a healthy environment. Comfort without meaning becomes emptiness. Abundance without purpose becomes decay. When survival is guaranteed but purpose is missing, the spirit of a community begins to die long before the bodies do. What Universe 25 says about today's world. Universe 25 happened decades ago, but the echoes in our modern world are undeniable. By 1, overcrowding, to social isolation. We live in bigger cities, surrounded by more people than ever. Yet we've never felt more alone. Just like the rats, humans often withdraw under constant social overload. 2, parenting strain. Parents today are exhausted, overstretched, and unsupported, and children absorb that stress. We see rising anxiety, dysregulation, and emotional fragmentation. In Universe 25, the very first warning sign was the collapse of parenting. 3, rising anxiety and depression. Even with comfort, technology, entertainment, and safety, mental health is declining because we're missing the deeper nutrients: tribe, identity, belonging, purpose. Just like the beautiful ones, many people look fine on the outside but feel empty on the inside. 4, loss of community structure, traditions, extended family, neighborhood bonds, all thinning. And when community scaffolding disappears, the psyche collapses inward. 5, purpose deficit disorder. Humans need purpose, challenge, responsibility, contribution. When those vanish, the spirit dims, not from pain, but from the absence of meaning. What we can learn. 1, we need purpose, not perfection. A flawless world sounds ideal until there's nowhere to grow, nothing to strive for, nothing meaningful to contribute. Give yourself goals, give your children roles. Purpose is a form of psychological protection. 2, community is medicine. It isn't poverty that destroys societies. It's isolation. Find your people, build routines. Nurture connection like your mental health depends on it, because it does. 3, meaningful struggle strengthens identity, not traumatic struggle, meaningful challenge. Learning, building, helping, moving through obstacles with support. Identity grows through friction, not through comfort alone. 4, parenting qualities shape society. Secure attachment is the antidote to the psychological decay seen in Universe 25. When caregivers are emotionally present, attuned, and consistent, they raise children who become emotionally stable adults. Adults who can regulate, connect, and contribute. 5, mental health collapses when roles collapse. Every person needs to feel, I matter, I belong, I make a difference, I am valued. When these roles disappear, when identity, contribution, and belonging fade, people withdraw, collapse, or lash out, mirroring exactly what we saw in Universe 25. The deep takeaway. Universe 25 reveals one powerful truth. Life isn't sustained by comfort, it's sustained by connection. We thrive when we are needed. We thrive when we contribute. We thrive when we belong. Humans aren't built for utopia, we're built for meaning. And meaning comes from community, responsibility, and love. If we create environments where every person has a role, a purpose, and a place to belong, we don't repeat Universe 25. We heal the wounds it warned us about. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm Nori, and my AI twin sister, Nora, exploring psychology, society, and the inner wiring of human behavior. If this video brought clarity or insight, please like, share, and subscribe, and tell us in the comments which part of Universe 25 felt most connected to your life or our world today. Because when we understand the environments that shape us, we can build healthier ones for ourselves, our children, and our communities.